Hi, we are with Friday Jones in a beautiful town of Tivad in Montenegro. Friday Jones is a celebrity tattoo artist, a humanist, a painter, a public speaker, a mentor. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Praveen. I'm so
Friday.
excited. Thank you for coming to beautiful Montenegro and putting that on your epic list of countries.
But one thing first, for a person who's lived in the United States for most of her life, for good formative years, and then in the later part of the career, why would she move to Montenegro? And that too in a small town of Tivad.
Well, I was turning 45 and I had done 10 years in New York City and I had pretty much checked all my boxes in New York. I was very lucky to have done so well there.
Correct.
But we had a Fifth Avenue studio that catered to a upscale clientele. And, a little Chardonnay and some atmosphere and privacy. It was a lot of fun.
Okay.
And I was just ready for the change. I wanted to have more of a painting life. I wanted to take life a little easier. I had invested so much time in making my name, and I was really thinking about the 50s and what the next level would look like. So.
No, but people say that we tattoo ourselves probably or think that they want to make a mark. Now, it looks like it's just a cover up that they could not make a mark in real mark, and that is why they are making a mark on their body is probably like a low self-esteem. Is it a sign of that?
That's an interesting perspective, and I understand that. I'll tell you, once I marked myself, I suddenly commanded myself to achieve as much as I possibly could and be as creative and push the envelope as much as I could, because I wore the mark. So I wasn't going to be this piece, in the trash in the street the way my mother would judge it or my father or something. I wanted to be even above and speak for it. And the good kids aren't the ones getting tattooed. The ones with a lot to lose of inheritance or the well-wishing of the family, they're not the ones getting tattooed. But I tell you what, the people who do get tattooed, Hurricane Katrina. I worked Hurricane Katrina, watched devastation, people lose everything. Men and women who had never been tattooed come out in droves, back pieces, everything. Wartime, people get tattooed. The soldiers going off to war, they get tattooed. There's things, where life becomes whatever you have. And oftentimes, whatever we have on our backs could be the only thing. So it's a risk, but evolution favors the risk takers, Praveen.
Yeah. Friday, I'm a biker, right? And in most of the corporates, some of the corporates certainly do. They do not take me seriously, leave alone trustworthy. Alright, they feel that the guys who are tattooed and or on bike are not grounded. They are too bohemian, should not be taken seriously, may not be responsible, may not be committed. What is your opinion?
Well, again, that's perspective. we could see our politicians have suits on and can ride the rails with the rest of the nation all the way to hell.
Yeah.
But a lot of those guys with tattoos and the bikers of the 70s were our war heroes, were the guys who fought, for our freedom in my country. And so we could trust them to have an AK and be in a foreign country, but we can't trust them to enjoy their life on a motorcycle, raise their family, have a nice working class life or even professional life. Our world is getting so small, Praveen, and you know this. So we're getting kind of a homogenized taste around the world. So if we have these little bastions of self-expression, I like to celebrate them. And if you're a professional person, I tell you, Fifth Avenue are bankers. I tattoo bankers, doctors. I work with plastic surgeons doing nipple tattoos. So I go in heavily tattooed, and they think I'm even better because I must be. A little freaky looking that these doctors would trust me, right? So, so the world is changing in the West very rapidly, and our people our age who didn't have, again, the family or the church kind of values, weren't raised with that culture, are making our own rules, and thank God.
So tell me one thing: the sternum tattoos or the lower back tattoos are still called tramp stamps, right? Now, how do you punctuate those cultural gender biases?
That's a total gender bias, Praveen. I'm glad you brought that up. And it's not so much sternum, it would be the lower back. And I remember We hated doing those tattoos because it was the only place women would get large tattoos, was where they could kind of hide it.
Correct.
So this is not self-expression in the big glorious way of sleeve and the way we see tattooing culture. This is, I love that, it's so beautiful, or it makes me feel so good, but I have to hide it from my mother, and maybe only my lover will see it. So you're right, it's a gender slur. There's no male designator for, there's no comparison. But now the girls will refuse to get lower back tattoos.
Correct.
Kind of happily for us because they're very big and hard to do. But the girls won't do it because they're so afraid of the tramp stamp moniker. They won't even touch it. So all the young girls are getting right here in the bra strap. And there's so many of it, my male peers are calling them the hoe handles. So no more tramp stamp, now it's the whore handle. What are you going to do? What are you going to do, Praveen? What are you going to do?
But tell me one thing, tattooing is more or less very impulsive. Never really thought about. I mean, it's just a matter of moment that you do a tattoo. But,
what?
I'm coming to it. So, once you've done, it's not that you look at it and you feel good about it, or you feel, oh wow, it's a beautiful thing I have on my body. What if you get bored of it? What if you wrinkle over there? I mean, soon you will age and then you will wrinkle. What if tattoo is not so cool anymore 20 years from now?
My dear Praveen, first of all, I've been tattooed for almost 30 years, so I love all my tattoos. And I think it's so funny, the non-tattooed are the ones that come up with these ideas.
Yeah,
what's your tattooed? Yeah, I understand, I totally hear you. But my answer to that is, some people put less thought into bearing children than they would into their tattoo. They might put so much thought into being tattooed and then just like have these children. And everybody celebrates the children, but maybe the children don't have such a great life. Maybe they burn your house down, maybe they shoot up a school, and so the tattoo is very minor, a commitment in comparison to raising another human being, so.
It's an excellent. And you're particularly talking to an Indian.
We're talking about commitment, we're talking about long term, we're talking about, this is nothing. Tattoos are nothing, And to get tattoos, once you get it, you realize it's not that big a deal.
Correct.
Your life moves on. You're a success or you're not a success. That's based on your character and how you live your life.
Friday, there are two questions we ask every influencer. You are an influencer because you influence the society. You add a new dimension in their lives, literally.
Thank you.
What is your word to the youth?
My word to the youth is do everything and don't regret it. Just go ahead and do it. Be a weirdo. Do the thing that terrifies you and keep doing it. And then your life will show you why you did it. Yeah.
Amazing. The sentiment behind our journey Friday, Sudhir and I traveling to 60 countries, 70,000 kilometers, then joined by my wife, is celebrate life. What according to you is celebrate life? Because we are sure you celebrate life, otherwise you wouldn't do what you're doing.
I'm so grateful to celebrate life, Praveen, and thank you so much for that wonderful question. I'll tell you, I get up in the morning, first thing I do is I meditate, and I take in the breath, and I'm grateful for the breath. And then I do my exercise, and here in our little beautiful town, I get to see my butterflies and the flowers on the trees and the beautiful sea and the mountains, and I celebrate that. So it just reminds me that bliss is this constant thing that we can access as humans, and it's such a gift that we have. So I'd say every moment is our celebration, and that's what we must commit to.
Excellent. That's an excellent answer.
Thank
you so much, Friday. Thank you for
much.
your time. It's such a pleasure to see you here in Montenegro.
So wonderful. Praveen, thank you for your work.
She just allowed us, we knocked at her, in fact, we barged in yesterday and we said, look, we are here and we want to interview, and she said, fine, no problem. Amazing.
Well, it was my lucky day. It was my lucky day. And honestly, I was meditating on that. I said, I want to speak to more people, and thank you coming all the way from India. Can you imagine with your epic journey? Thank you so much.